Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another thrilling installment of f0rje Plays Risk of Rain 2. Today we're going to be playing the Engineer, and we're going to maybe try for those lizards that killed us in our last run. But what I want to do, we need to unlock a few of these challenges. Fully charge teleport without getting hit, defeat the teleport boss in under 15 seconds, complete a prismatic trial. What is this? Prismatically aligned. Charge teleport with less than 10% health. Death to us part. Discover the hidden chamber in the abandoned aqueduct. Yeah. This is gonna take... That's where we were, but we have to defeat those guys inside of it. Going fast recommended. 500 elite monsters. 3 combat shrines in a single stage. Yeah, so we got a lot to work on. We're probably gonna try and get this one done. Same item 7 times in a row on a printer. I mean, it'll happen naturally should we ever find a good printer, but that does require that we find a good printer. Anyways, let's get down and dirty. Distant Roost is quickly becoming my least preferred starting stage. And by that I mean I do actually enjoy the Titanic Plains a bit more. I like the open layout a lot, where the Roost is quite a bit more cramped, obviously. Could be enough to open this chest, please. Nope. We can... So, there are some things, if you didn't know, you can use this wall right here as a path, up and down. You can jump up from right about here. And so you're on the ground right here, you can hop right there and go this way. Apparently there's also another one over there somewhere that you can use, but I haven't attempted that one yet. Normally when I'm trying to get up to there, it's from this side of the map, not usually from that side. Fusion, totally useless. I kinda wanna just go for the boss, honestly. We've got enough sustained damage, and I mean, it's Beetle Queen, so... Throw mines down. I think the current iteration of mines are basically useless. I preferred them much more before the update that made it so that they only gain damage over time. Where you could just kind of like use them as short-range grenades. Personally, I think that that Engineer's kit, I don't know. I like the playstyle of the turrets. I don't love everything else about his kit. At all. So now that we have unlocked Artificer and we can feel free to spend lunar coins, if we see a lunar pod, I will open it. Ooh, we picked up ukulele, that's really good. If we see a lunar pod, I will open it. If we see Strides of Heresy, I will take it. Strides of Heresy replaces our utility skill, in this case, Engineer's Shield, with a skill that gives us a brief moment of invincibility and heals our, like 10% of our health, I think, over the duration. Alright, that's a multi-shop. So we got Infusion, totally useless. We got Ukulele, pretty good. And I want to kill the rest of these guys for money, so I can unlock both of these. Cautious Slug is pretty much useless. Probably take Gasoline just for AoE's sake. I mean, none of those are super great. Let's just gamble. Focus Crystal is absolutely useless. Okay. Should've just taken the sprint juice. That's that's my new name for energy drink. Sprint juice. So what are we going to talk about today? How do you guys feel about tabletop games? I was part of an active D&D campaign that broke down a couple of weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, because my friend who was the DM no longer wanted to DM, which is totally understandable. I have attempted to DM for my friend group, although different friend group, in the past. It is pretty stressful. There is no doubt about that. Now, I'm going to segue, well, small tangent here. Are we going to try for the lizards? I don't think so. I want to, but I don't think our current items are good enough. Alright, I will take sprint juice. Engineer doesn't have a lot of movement in his kit, and I would like to be able to get around. Got a number of chests on this side. But I think I'm a fan right now of just like booking it to the teleporter and going from there. It's 40. We probably want about 400 gold, I think. We also want to stay pretty close to Stone Titan so that he doesn't use his laser attack. On us, at least. Or he just does anyways, because F this game. It's like he used it to target the turret and then changed targets to us. It's kind of obnoxious. Alright. Stone Titan down. We picked up Chronobobble. Again, not very helpful. Good equipment, please. Haha, good joke. So our plan here is gonna be, we've taken the boss down. I think we're gonna farm up a little bit, and then we will exit the teleporter when it's around 90% completion until we've got maybe 300 gold, 320. I don't know, what's a multiple of 4? 4, 8, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. 32. 320 gold, I think, seems like a good idea. Because we're pretty ahead of schedule. We will probably be able to make it to the chest, the rally point chest, assuming... Oh, wait. Whoops, never mind. I stayed in the teleporter for too long. Well, then we'll just grab chests and go. So anyways, D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. I had a pretty interesting character for the campaign that kind of fell apart, and I'm pretty sad that it did, just because I wanted to like play that character a bit longer. My whole idea was that the character was gonna be a human paladin of Bahamut. I don't know how people pronounce it. Bahamut. You know, I'm not really sure what the accepted pronunciation is. I've always just called it Bahamut ever since I saw him in the Final Fantasy games. But anyways, the idea was that he was an orphan who was adopted by a hermit in the forest. Or in a forest, you know, whatever. But that hermit was actually a red dragon who had decided that, like, something had happened to him, and even though it was against his nature, he had decided to do good. So he's raised by this red dragon in disguise, yada yada yada, trained to follow all the ways of Bahamut, so on and so forth. But the idea was, right before the campaign had started, his adopted father, the hermit, dies. And so he goes out on his own way to, you know, do paladin things. Goes out on a quest to find himself, so on and so forth. We are going to be literally 1 gold short of that chest. That is real unfortunate. We also don't have a single mushroom, which is also extremely unfortunate. That's probably the biggest reason why we're not going after the lizards, because our turrets will just instantly die. So the idea was that he would go off and do his thing, but that the soul, the dragon soul of his adopted father, would go with him. Alright, hold on. Pause on the storytelling. We've got a minute. If the chest is up there or in here, we probably have a good chance to get it. If it's on top of the mountain, we're probably shot of luck. Fan-freaking-tastic. Hello. Open the time security chest on Rally Point Delta. This equipment is the Prion Accumulator, and this mother trucker does the damage. Like, so much damage. Also, it was in the first place we looked, which I am very grateful for. Also, we have Old War Stealth Kit, which is extra good for keeping us out of the line of... Okay, this is why I don't like Engineer. This man just keeps jumping, and we missed him twice. Also, yeah, you could tell how bad it is not having Mushroom on Engineer, because our turrets are already... the first turret we placed down is already dead. Let's see, we got a flashbang printer and a sticky grenade printer, neither of which are good candidates for actually printing things. And by our first turret, I mean our second turret. Hopefully this healing chest will have a mushroom in it. Mushroom, mushroom, mushroom. Nope. So, the idea was that the soul of... Hello, Tesla coil is so good. The soul of our paladin's adopted father was essentially traveling around with him. And over time, he would grow to be more and more draconic in nature. Not dragonkin, per se, but like a human who, you know, has dragon skin, things of that nature. I came up with a whole paladin oath. We were playing 5th edition, so I came up with a whole paladin oath that fit the theme. You know, ultimately allowing for him to turn into a dragon at higher level. The whole thing was pretty cool. And I was really excited because it was like a lot of moral ambiguity in the fact that, like, because he's got a red dragon soul attached to him, he's really like moody and violent, but at the same time he's like trying to restrain that nature. So there's like this whole thing of like how much he's in control compared to how much his like the influence of the dragon has over him. I really want to play that Shrine of Order. It's probably gonna go terribly. Shrine of Order basically makes it so that all of your white, green, and etc. items are of one type. We also don't have that much gold, all things considered. Probably should have. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play the Shrine of Order, and then we'll still have gold to unlock things. So let's see. 10 teddy bears! Oh my god. 5 Old War Stealth Kits, and we still got Tesla Coil. Brooch. Mushroom. You know, actually, this isn't too bad. It sucks to lose the movement speed from our sprint juice, but 10 teddy bears is insane. We're gonna block so much damage. I would say that the majority of hits we take, we will absorb. Also, this is going to take us a while to rove around this map, going this slow. But yeah, I mean, like, so I was bummed about not being able to play my character's story. There was a whole lot of, nuance and ambiguity I was hoping to dig into. Which is funny to me because I was expecting the group that I was playing with, like, I knew them all, but I hadn't played Dungeons & Dragons with them before. And, by their own personalities, I was expecting a lot of, like, not too serious horsing around, Not a lot of role-playing, etc., etc. Oh my god. Also, 5 kits means we have invisibility for so long if we get hit. But yeah. So I was expecting, like, a not very serious campaign. So my original idea for the character was more of, like, a parody, like, I had that whole dragon idea, but my idea was more along the lines of he's a paladin who thinks that he's a dragon, like, in disguise. But then we showed up to the first session, we got the first session rolling, and everyone was, like, taking it super seriously. People were doing accents, role-playing, and I was like, damn, this is actually pretty involved. So I adjusted the backstory a little bit to, fit the more serious setting. Jesus, 6 stealth kits. We're gonna have, like, 30 seconds of invisibility every time we get hit. That is incredible. And, it's funny to me because had I not done that, I probably would not have been as attached to the character as I wound up being. But I got pretty attached, and I'm pretty bummed that it's all over. And to make things kind of even more, the group, after my friend decided he didn't want to DM, they had an existing campaign that they had been playing for a while, which had ended, and they decided to go back to, like, a spin-off of it, but decided not to include, like, a couple of us that had joined for the new campaign because we wouldn't know what was going on. So, like, I went from having a pretty cool character in an interesting campaign with friends to, like, not playing at all, which, felt kind of weird. Also, I just realized I forgot to use the Prion Accumulator in our last run. Righty-ho. I don't want to stick around on this stage for very long, so let's just find the teleporter and get out of here. Yeah, it's in here. So, I mean, more than just, though, like, talking about that one specific D&D campaign. It's interesting, because I'm very much more of a video gamer than a board gamer, I don't play a lot of board games. But my friends have gotten into them more lately. Okay, this is time for the Prion Accumulator. That wasn't the best, but I think it was better than nothing. I'm gonna set this here where they will overlap, and I will stand in the middle and attempt to heal. Nice. Oh my god, dude. The amount of squeaking from the teddy bears is insane. Ooh, and we got ukulele back. This is so good. Wait, we should have 2. I popped the mountain. Excuse me? Shrine of the Mountain is supposed to give you additional items. Unless I'm dumb and it also does other things, but I'm pretty sure it's just additional items. Oh, it's up here. Never mind. But our current turrets don't have it, so I'm actually going to replace them. You actually don't want to put these guys too close together. Because, they will interrupt each other's shots if you do. But yeah, anyways, my friends have gotten more into board games. One of my friends is actually designing a board game right now. It's all very intense, I think. Like, every time I go to visit my friends from home, they play board games, they have, like, board game nights. it's just a lot, and it's not something that I really expected out of them. And I also, like, some of them are really fun. Like, there's one where you get, like, I don't remember what it's called, but you get cards, and each card is like a class, and you get abilities, and you roll for damage, and so on and so forth. It's like World of Warcraft Arena, if you guys are familiar with that. But it's every man for themselves in like a multi-combat brawl. We even got... This run is actually popping off, and that Shrine of Order, far from destroying our run, has actually taken a pretty mediocre run that wasn't likely to go very far, and I think made it a standout, stellar experience. I mean, we've gotten a ton of damage reduction, we kept our Tesla coil, we've gotten, oh my god, 11 bears. We've gotten a lot more, you know, crit chance, a couple of ukuleles, rocket launchers, will-o'-the-wisps. You know, I think things are all coming up. Things are all coming up Millhouse, boys. Tesla coil is probably one of the best items in the game. And it's really doing work as the additional item here. Now, we're gonna go to the bazaar. I'm not gonna trade anything in, I think. If there's a really good legendary item, we may consider it. But knowing my luck, it would take our ukuleles and leave us with like 4 old war stealth kits. Ooh. Okay, this is... Yeah, we lost ukulele and our rocket launcher, but I think that was well worth it. We're also going to take Strides of Heresy. Now we can do this whenever our engineer gets in trouble, instead of throwing down the shield, which I always forget to use anyways, and I find kinda useless. Even though I know that good engineer players has quite a bit of use. This lets us fly in clutch moments, and gives us an on-demand heal while we cannot take any damage. So, all around, a stellar choice. Now, as is my game for the second loop, we're gonna throw down on the teleporter right away. After I kill this guy, that is. And... oh my... see, this is why Tesla Coil is so good. We're gonna throw it on the teleporter right away, and then, like, we'll try and farm gold a little bit after the fact. You do still take fall damage, which is kind of sad. But, you know, you can't get everything. Intangibility just defends you from normal damage. Alright, so... let's get on it. It also increases your movement speed by 30%, which I think is fantastic. We're gonna pop our turrets here and here. And we'll pop off a Prion Accumulator shot immediately. How... I was like, how is he not dead? I mean, the boss health bar was more than half gone. That was really strange. Oh, nice. We got our rocket launcher back. This run is blessed. This run is absolutely blessed. All I could really ask for now is more attack speed and more crit chance. Before things start getting totally out of control. Because we're getting kind of close to that point where, I mean, one mushroom definitely is not enough to keep most of our turrets alive through consistent damage. 11 teddy bears helps a lot. But 25 heals every so on and so forth. Pretty soon our turrets are just going to get murked, no matter what we do. But I don't know, it's interesting because, like, I've been thinking a lot more about game design. I think a real dream of mine And part of the reason why I've been so interested in programming and, you know, part of all of that is I really want to make games. Also, we're not going to open that lunar pod. It's tempting, but I don't really think there's anything else that I want. I mean, I guess additional Strides of Heresy would give us more charges on our utility skill, but I'm not super concerned about it, and we don't really have... Like, I don't want to take Shaped Glass, and we haven't really unlocked any of the other good lunar items yet. Ooh, hello, Hammer. Hammer's really good against bosses for the armor reduction. But yeah, I'm really interested in game design, like what makes games fun, because, you know, I want to make my own games eventually. And so, like, I know it's a lot easier to develop and prototype games when you're only working with tabletop games, because, you know, you don't have to, like, code a whole thing, you know? You just make the game and play it. And if it's fun, it's fun. If it's not, you know, back to the drawing board. I do think it's important on the second loop to full clear chests, because you need, especially as you get more mobility, more items, more damage, you don't need to farm as much. Oh, dude. More crit chance is always what we want to see. You don't need to farm as much, but you need to get more powerful quicker. Not like that, please. No. That's not what I meant. Don't take that out of context. You need to get more powerful more quickly because your character's growth becomes, like, much less guaranteed because leveling up is a lot harder. But, like, I have some ideas for things like roguelikes that I think would be really interesting, that I would love the chance to expand upon, but is difficult in my current state. Holy crap. That was more Old War stealth kits. Okay, game. Okay. Again, let's just Zerg the teleporter. After I hit this green multi-shop. Another ukulele or bandolier. I'd rather have another ukulele. Having two isn't, like, the greatest, but it does give us... Oops. Let's just Prion Accumulator this guy. Yeah, I don't like dealing with the Clay Dune Striders. It gives us more... Okay, sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? I was talking about games. I've got some ideas for some good games, but, like, I don't really have a whole lot of time to work on them right now. You know, I'm like, job hunting and stuff. I have other things that are of a higher priority, I guess. I mean, you could argue, like, f0rje, why are you not just... Oh, yes. Why are you, like, taking this time to make these YouTube videos instead of just, like, writing and working on games in your spare time? And the answer is because making these videos is a hell of a lot less time intensive. You know, I can just sit down for like an hour and crank out an episode. It's not something that I have to think about or worry about all the time. I could just do it when I'm feeling like having a good time. Oh, great. I really hate Clay Dune Striders. Oh my goodness. That huge damage burst, and another ukulele charge, that's hilarious. That huge damage burst was the Tesla coil on both turrets activating at once. Woo! That was crazy. Also, I probably should stick these guys closer together so that they get their, Oh, of course, it was the wrong one. So that they get their overlapping. needs to be close enough, but not too close. Maybe right there. I'd like to have them get each other's, but that isn't really super viable, just because otherwise, like, they will hit each other and do way less damage. 76. We're only going to be able to unlock a couple of chests currently in this. But I only really see a couple of chests to unlock. Let me dip out of the portal real quick. Our turrets will farm up more gold. Meanwhile, I can scout around for chests. Nothing down there. There isn't really anything in these troughs either. Did we get mostly everything? Like, the thing about hunting for chests during the portal is that it's super easy to see where they are because of the red claws. But I just don't see anything. I think we got most of them already. Alright then. But anyways, I've got like decent ideas for roguelikes. I've got a pretty good idea for a game that I'm just gonna not even hint at because I want to keep the idea to myself. I know that's not really how ideas work in the creative space because, you know, there's no space for just an idea, man. Everyone has had, like, almost every idea has been had before. You know, you're not special just because you came up with a good idea. It's about taking that idea and transforming it into a functioning product. That's what makes good game designers and developers. But still, I think I've got a real winner here, and it doesn't really sound like anyone has taken advantage of it, so I'm going to keep it to myself. Also, we are on pace for a really good conclusion here. Also, you know what? We've got 11. I think this is the run where we unlock the... we fight these lizards. We've got 11... It's not there. Let's see. It can be over here, right? We've got 11 teddy bears, which means serious blocking power for their big attacks. Plus we've got a mushroom, and also with the fact that they're going to be blocking a lot of attacks potentially in a row, we have a pretty solid chance to get our slugs working as well. Now, this is the part where we find out that you can't actually complete the event after activating the teleporter. But you never know. Okay, button's not there. We got a turret on that one already. There's 4 more places it can be, I think. There's over here. Around one of these rocks. Nope. By one of these rocks, which I don't see it, unless it's on this side. Nope. Over here. Come on, game. Don't do it to me like this. Somewhere over here. Aha, there we go. Ancient gate begins to shift. I do kind of wish we had music for this. It's pretty awkward just sitting here in silence. We also have the Prion Accumulator, which will do a whole lot of damage. Please tell me these guys still spawn. Please tell me. Yes. Alright, here we go, boys. Put them next to each other. Pop the Prion Accumulator. End that man. Holy crap. We're not even going to take any chances. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is the run, boys. This is the run. Death do us part. Get both bands. The cool thing about these bands, the ice one does a runic ice blast, the other one spawns a flame tornado. And the fucking awesome thing about them is that if you proc one, the other will proc as well. So they both have their own independent proc chances, but if you've got both, they'll proc at the same time, which means if you have both, you get more procs of both. It's pretty freaking cool. This run is really coming together. We've got... unless I do something stupid, we are going to make it to the obelisk. No problem. Now, we do have to eventually do some longer runs, but I think I'm going to reserve the runs where we try and go for stage 20 for commando runs. Because those are... He has a challenge that you need to get to stage 20, so we might as well wait for that and use that time properly. So, we could just Zerg the end portal, but we've only got a half hour left. Or we're only on a half an hour, so... Let's look around a bit. Let's pop our turrets down. Ow. Try and take out the bad guys. Oh, just a second too early. Yeah, once you... With the solid run... I can't get over how much those teddy bears just put everything together for us. We do have a sticky grenade. You know, I'm gonna go with a second sticky grenade, even though it kinda sucks, just because it is damage on things before we successfully kill something. More attack speed. Hell yes! So I'm gonna try and get every item before we go on to the next section. Ooh, you know what? We also have a... If I remember correctly, I don't think we've done this yet. We need... Boom. Fully upgrade Shrine of the Woods. Hell yeah. That unlocks the... I don't actually remember the name of it. It's like a Wood Wisp or something. Which is really good because it is a very strong... equipment item that has a passive, so you're always passively healing while you've got it. Ooh, nice. And we have a gazillion jumps. You're always passively healing while you've got it. It has a really short cooldown, and when you activate it, you heal for like 10% of your health or something. So it's like a strictly better fruit, especially if you get fuel cells, because then you just always have it up. I think with like 5 or 6 fuel cells, the cooldown's like less than 5 seconds. Also, taking our runs only to the obelisk means we're going to be drowning in lunar coins pretty soon. So yeah, I don't know. It's got me interested. Like, maybe I should, before attempting to go all in on designing video games, I should put some time in, maybe try designing some board games just to like flex that design muscle. I mean, I am just more familiar in general with the video games, so to me it's a little bit easier to design, even though, you know, it's harder to prototype. Ugh, Monster Tooth Necklace is so worthless. What was that noise? Jeez. Let's slap the turret down here. The thing is, like, I don't really have any good ideas for a board game, whereas I'm just filled with good ideas for video games. Like I said, as someone who doesn't play a whole lot of board games. I also think that might be why my friends have become more obsessed with board games, because I have a friend who is like trying to design his own board game, so he started buying a lot of board games as an attempt to better understand what makes a board game good and interesting. Got 5. We do have to, at some point, get at least 200% attack speed, which requires picking up, what, 10 of them is 150, so 17 is... I don't know. 17 is 180. 19 adrenaline syringes for a specific achievement, which will happen at some point. Honestly, turrets are going here and here. This is the worst placement of, like, for the teleporter as engineer, there's like no good place to put the turrets, I don't think. Oh my god. It is really tempting to keep this run going, honestly. If the Celestial Portal spawned every stage after the 3rd, I would totally keep it going for a couple more, but I think we're probably just gonna, you know, a 38-minute episode I'm not feeling too bad about. A successful engineer run. We really got to give props to the friggin' Shrine of Order. The Shrine of Order is what made this happen, giving us 10 teddy bears when we had just the crap. Like, we could have gotten so many items. We could have got 10 med kits, and that just would have been the end of our run right there on the spot. But we got 10 teddy bears and got so much for it. So, a celestial portal appears. I bet you it appeared up there? What? Oh, it's down here. Okay. To the obelisk! Ugh. One of the things that we actually do need to start doing is playing on Monsoon, because we have getting to the obelisk on Monsoon with each character unlocks, I believe, a mastery skin? How you can block fall damage. It's so good. But yeah, it unlocks mastery skins, which we want one for each character. So playing on Monsoon eventually will be a thing. But for now, thank you very much for watching. We actually accomplished a ton. We got the Beetle Guard log, Wood Sprite, the rings, and Prion Accumulator. A fantastic run, if I do say so myself. One other thing I wanted to mention, after I stopped recording after the last run, we did unlock one item, which we haven't picked up yet, but here, it's the blast shower. We don't have the logbook yet because we haven't found it, but you unlock it for dying while burning 3 times. So, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please click the like button and consider subscribing. I hope you had a good time, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode of f0rje Plays Risk of Rain. See you later.